So, it turns out that today's project will be in 5.5. Nothing has really changed since 5.5 into 5.6 for save games. But earlier, me and another person were having some weird difficulties with saving variables in 5.6. So I was really hoping to be on 5.6 for this video, but work with what you've got, right? So, today, as this nonsense loads up, I will explain that we are working on a save game system. I've explained these as parts of other videos, but I figure it'd be a good thing to just have in its own little video, and my desert survival game, CCW, happens to need a save game system. Alright, I've confirmed that the equipment is indeed functioning as needed. So, first of all, I'm going to make sure that I indeed do not have a save system built in this game. Look at that, I don't. Great. Insane, I've been testing without this. Alright, first off, you're going to want to make a game instance. To make a game instance, go to Blueprint Classes. Type game ins. Game instance comes up, click it, click select. Game instance is one common way to preface this. Then do that. But I've already got one here. Yeah, let's leave you alive. So we go into the game instance, and this is stuff that persists throughout levels, basically. The game instance is always the same game instance as long as it's always the same asset. These. So, if you have a game instance created, you will always have the exact same data here, as I understand it. I could be understanding that wrong, I am still a rookie. But it's a good place to do anything universal. Like in CCW here, when you transition between maps, it brings in a little box that lets you set text. When you call this function in the actual map, it has the in text there so you can type it in. That's all irrelevant to the actual video. You should probably skip all this, I don't know. But the main thing is you gotta have one. Now, in your instance, you're gonna want to put all the stuff you want to save, because we also need new folder, save games, right click, blueprint class, save game, click save game, select it. I like calling it save game object. I don't know if there's a standard for it. I think just BP. CCW for my cool water. Open it up. Save it. Don't need all this up right now. And here in the save game object, you're going to want to copy them here. I don't think any of those need to be saved. That probably should. Good, good, good. We have location. So in player stats here, we have all the important stuff: name, hunger, thirst, how hot they are, how much energy they have, how crazy they are, and the one that this will focus on, location, because almost any game where you're saving is gonna want a location, right? I mean, it's pretty basic. You want your character to be where you left it. So that's a pretty important thing to add, right? Tags are also good. Good to have tags. Yeah. The main thing we need in here is we simply need to set up let's do Control Shift S, just to give us a real quick access to our save functions. Now the save game object, we have the instance with a couple of the things in it. In the instance, let's make a function, shall we? This function shall be alright, we're gonna do a few things here. We need to check for and create save object. We will need to check save slot. We will need to save to slot. We might combine those two. Check. No, that could be used for loading too. So, load saved data. Yes, it's a few things. Wow. Okay. Check for and create save object. So, this is where we do is valid. If it isn't valid, create save game object. Promote this to a local, I believe, variable. Save object reference. And this is what we're examining in the first place. If it is valid, return. And when this is complete, return. So, if there isn't a save object reference, it creates... we almost forgot something important, didn't we? Okay, in save game class, that'll be our, whatever you named it, save game object, CCW in this case. It sets it to that reference. Nope, that won't work. That cannot be a local variable. My mistake. That would be why. Go ahead and delete that. because this needs to be held in the game instance, not in just this function. I was thinking that it needs to be eliminated after it's done, but I was being silly. So, check for the save object. Check if it's valid. If not, create it, then return. Alrighty. Custom event. Save game. Right. So when we save the game, we want to first check for and create the save object. Now, we will check the save slot. Oops, we didn't make that. So to check the save slot, does save game exist? And look at that. I forgot something else, didn't I? Make a new variable by clicking the plus. Click current save slot. Name. Let's make it a string. There we go. Get it by dragging it out to the blueprint. Connect it there, and there we have it. Compile it so we can set a default. I'm calling it CCW autosave. Now you never have to worry about, did I capitalize it, did I put a space here, did I spell it correctly. Now you just have a freaking variable to use. Okay. If the save game exists, for now we're going to make it really simple. If it exists, we return. If it doesn't exist, create save. Save game to slot. I may have forgotten what this is used for. We shall see. Current save name. Get your save object, connect that there. User index is mostly used for multiplayer stuff. I don't have a lot of knowledge in it. Let's go ahead and tell ourselves if this works. By making some print strings. On whether this saves or not. So if the save game is successful, it will tell us it was successful. If it wasn't, oopsie, there was a problem. And then we can return. Either which way. I'm not sure if I did this right. Let's see, check it. We check the save slot because we're saving the game. This is necessary because later on it will allow us to add a prompt asking the player if they want to make a new game. So oh, this won't work. It will if I do this. So let's take this, cut it, move to our checks or save to slot, click the blueprint, press Ctrl V to paste it, and now we do this in here. So that's going to be more complex than I'm giving it credit for, isn't it? I'm probably overthinking this. I feel like I'm overthinking this. I've done it a few times before. So, if the save game exists, that just doesn't matter, does it? We're saving either way, aren't we? We don't need this. This is not for saving, this is for loading. What am I thinking? Save to slot, this is all we need here. There. Critical thinking is good to have, right? Okay. That's simple. Yes, that's simple. Let's add another one. Make this one D. No, let's make this one H because I never use H. This will add something to the inventory. We'll add a cooking pot. So on released, get, whoops, right click on the blueprint, get game instance. This is dirty, but we're gonna cast to game instance. This should be tutorial. It'll be whatever you called it. I was just showing how to make it. That's right. No worries. Okay, after casting to there, get inventory. Or whatever you're saving, of course. Set members in the inventory. And we're adding a cooking pot, right? That should do for it. Okay. We need to prime the save object. So you get this. Okay, so in the save object reference, we need to set player inventory, and we need to set it to be like our inventory. In the game instance. And we should do this for player stats to be like our player stats. Alright. Okay. So, check for and create. And then we prime it. And then we save it, I believe. So on released, I'm gonna do this here. Control D with it highlighted to copy it. Oops. On released, we save the game. Just to make sure that's the thing. Okay. So, I should also hold on, give me a second, I need to check something. Let's make that num5. Num5. Tests. Gets the player inventory. I guess I could have just copied that over, right? And not bread. Break it. Hide everything that isn't connected. We're looking for the cooking pot. To string. Print string. Do the thing. Do that. Okay. So, if I'm correct, we now have a way to add an item for testing our save. Let's test that we can add our item for testing our save. Wait, which adds it? H adds it. Num5 checks it. H adds it. 5 checks it. Let's try that again. Alright. And H adds it. Alright, okay. Great. So now, Control Shift S, and Al. Soul. And that is released. Control D to copy it, of course. Load saved data. Now the question is, am I doing anything yet? Load saved data. Okay. So if I recall, we primed. No. Here it is. Here's where we need to start. So check the save slot. If I set this up weird, I got a little confused, sorry, but you can see an interesting way to do this. If it exists, well, let's just start with if it doesn't. If it doesn't, check for and create it. And then I do this. If it does, load game from slot. Take our current save slot name, plug it in there. Now, here's where it gets fun. From there, cast to... Am I doing this right? I think I'm doing this right. Save game object CCW. From save game object CCW, get player inventory. Obviously, you'll want to do all of this as well for the other ones, but for the purposes of this demonstration, set members instruct allows you to only set that specific thing without changing the others. If you just set the struct with that, it would check that to true and all of those to false. If you don't know structs, they're tricky. They can hurt you. They can hurt you bad. And return, because we're done there, I believe. So, get I think this would be best. I always forget what. Okay. So yes, okay. this will be whatever you're using to send the data. I do it from the first person character, from my player character. It's called character reference. Alright. This is a local variable. Character reference. Don't name your variables so ridiculously. Anyone you work with will absolutely hate you. Okay, so after we check the save slot. Right. We did that. Set that. Great. Then we, there it is. Get the character reference, right? Oh man, I fell behind. What are we doing? We're loading? Yes. No. What am I even thinking? This is wrong. No. This is very wrong. Very, very wrong. I misguided you. We need to set it to exactly what we pulled from the instance. What was I thinking? Oh, this video's a mess. Anyways. I'm gonna keep that there just in case. Okay, so after it saves, or after it loads, it's already set the inventory. I think. Yes. So we should be able to then check it. We'll find out, won't we? Let's put a print string here saying data loaded. Okay, so just to review, we are going to press H to add a cooking pot. Press Ctrl-Shift-S to save the cooking pot. Then exit the game and come back in and press Ctrl-Shift-L to check if we saved it. So, no cooking pot. Now cooking pot. Game saved. Exit. Huh. Data loaded. Cooking pot. There it is. Woo! Okay. Oh, sorry it got so confused, people. Some like to say that my brain is 70% THC, so this was a bit of a rambler for me. Oops, don't need that. Alright, so, just to be clear, once an item is added, we can press Ctrl-Shift-S. This starts the chain to save the game. What that does is it checks for and creates the save object, which simply actually creates the save object if it doesn't exist. After it does that, it primes the save object. By that, I mean it takes the inventory and player stats and all the other stuff that are in the game instance and writes them to the save object. Great. Okay. After that, it saves it to the slot. And what that does is it takes all the data from the save object, applies the current saved slot name, which we made as a variable so we don't always... I mean, you saw how rambling this was. If this wasn't a variable, I would have spelled it wrongly 4 or 5 times. It saves the game to slot. When it's successful, it says so. When not, it says there's an issue. Great. So, when we load the game, in this case, Control-Shift-L, we go to load save data. Load save data. Where'd you go, load save data? Load save data is actually a function. It's not on the main blueprint at all. But it's, again, relatively simple. It takes the character reference for some reason. Absolutely unnecessary. You can actually just do it all through check save slot. But anyways, it checks if it exists. If it doesn't, it makes it. If it... Well, normally you'd run a UI to prevent that just doing nothing. Anyways, if it doesn't, it makes a new save slot. If it does exist, it loads it from the current save slot name. You cast to the loaded game itself. This is the part that a lot of people trip up on. So that it can read the data from the object. Then it sets it to the game instance, which then loads. Now, of course, when you check the data in your character, you are casting again to the game instance to make sure you have the most recent version of it. That might be excessive. It's not something you would want to do on every frame or anything, but for just saving and loading, I like to be safe. I've run into issues lately. But once you cast to it, you can use it to check your player inventory and see if it is true. So there we have a save game system in as few rambly words as possible for me. I'm sure it would be possible to do it unless for a more sane person. Okay, Unreal Engine 5.5 was the version we used, and if you have any questions, just go ahead and ask in the comments. I hope you learned something from this, and I hope it makes an extremely complicated process slightly easier. Stone Coyote out.